Now, in the book we refer to this as the paradigm, the beliefs and assumptions held relatively in common across the organisation, not questioned, not challenged, just taken for granted. Here are one or two examples. People who work in newspaper businesses tend to take news for granted. That's what the business is about. In engineering firms, we're about engineering. In the police force, we're about law enforcement. None of this is surprising, but it can be problematic if we are in the business of managing fundamental strategic change. Suppose, for example, in an engineering firm, they want to emphasise more consultancy or project management. Now, that isn't necessarily centrally about engineering. Or in the police force, supposing it's about being a public service, not just law enforcement. Then the ways we see the world that we take for granted can be a real barrier to strategic change. So we may like to think that what drives strategy is careful analysis and evaluation, but what we may actually find is that what drives the strategy is the paradigm, the taken for grantedness in the business. We might also find that the tools and the techniques that we're so familiar with in strategy are then actually used to post-rationalise the strategy that develops on the back of this paradigm. But it's not just